Smile more. Speak confidently. Dress like the person you want to become. Manifest success. Be the energy you want to attract. Sounds familiar? Of course it does. Because whether you heard it from a podcast, a YouTuber, a coach, or your own inner voice, we've all been sold the same promise. Fake it till you make it. But what if I told you that this mantra might be the most toxic self-help advice of our generation? Why is fake it till you make it so seductive? Because it offers a shortcut, a psychological cheat code. You're not confident? Act like you are. Don't know what you're doing? Pretend you do. Eventually, you'll become the person you're pretending to be. Surprised. But here's the kicker. This phrase didn't start as a social media cliche. It actually came from Alfred Adler, a psychotherapist who believed that acting as if could sometimes help people break negative thought patterns. The problem is, we took a clinical tool meant for healing and turned it into a lifestyle aesthetic. And in doing that, we broke something. Let's talk about how this became the official mantra of hustle culture. You know the vibe. Wake up at 5 a.m. Cold showers, journaling, affirmations, fake confidence, designer suits, coffee-fueled mornings, power poses in the mirror. And on the outside, you look like you've made it. Whisper. But inside, you're exhausted, confused, anxious, terrified of being found out. Welcome to imposter syndrome on steroids. When we fake success without building a foundation, we don't become stronger, we become hollow. We start living for optics, not outcomes. And in a world obsessed with highlight reels, appearance becomes everything. And here's the worst part. The more we pretend, the more disconnected we become from ourselves. Let's go deeper. Imagine you start pretending to be confident. You walk differently, speak louder, post wins. You become addicted to the version of you that performs. And people around you, they start believing the performance too. But there's a cost. You're no longer allowed to fail, to rest, to admit you're scared. Because the moment you stop performing, the illusion crumbles. And that's the secret no one tells you about faking it. The better you get at pretending, the more imprisoned you become by the role you're playing. You're not building a stronger self, you're building a mask. And masks get heavy. Let's talk about the elephant in the digital room. Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube. These platforms didn't just normalize faking it till you make it. They turned it into an art form. Think about it. Curated lifestyles, rented Lambos, AI-generated quotes, success montages filmed on Airbnb balconies. We watch people pretending to be successful and we start to think this is the standard. So what do? We perform back. We act more polished, more successful, more enlightened. We add filters, captions, hustle, aesthetic, branding, until we're not just lying to others, we're lying to ourselves. This is no longer self-improvement, it's self-distortion. And the more we fake our way forward, the more we lose sight of who we actually are. So let's get psychological. There's a reason pretending can work temporarily. It's called cognitive dissonance. Your brain tries to close the gap between how you act and who you believe you are. But if that gap is too wide for too long, the brain can't close it. And this leads to chronic anxiety, identity confusion, burnout, even dissociation. You might look successful on the outside, but inside you're wondering, who even am I anymore? This is what I call identity drift, where the role takes over the actor. You forget who you were before you started pretending, and no amount of mindset hacks or life coaching can fix that if the foundation is built on illusion. Let's draw a line in the sand. Real confidence is built from repetition, competence, failure and recovery, vulnerability, integrity. Fake confidence is built from image management, quotes and mantras, overcompensation, external validation, denial. One builds your roots, the other builds your brand. And when the storm hits, Only one of those keeps you standing. You don't need to fake being confident. You need to do scary things while still being uncertain. That's not pretending, that's courage. Here's something people rarely admit. The more you pretend, the harder it gets to connect. You can't tell your friends you're struggling because they think you've got it all together. You can't ask for help because you've branded yourself as a high performer. You feel invisible. Behind the mask you work so hard to create, and in that isolation, you start to spiral. Because what's the point of being impressive if no one knows the real you? Eventually, there comes a moment. Something cracks. A failed launch, a public embarrassment, a personal loss. Something that your mask can't cover. And in that raw moment, you realize faking it never made you whole. It only made you hide. You thought you were building confidence, but you were just building distance from your truth. At some point, pretending stops working. The smile cracks, the mask slips, the energy to keep performing disappears. And all you're left with is a terrifying question: who am I without the act? Fake it till you make it implies there's a point where you make it. But ask anyone who's reached their goals, and they'll tell you there is no finish line, just more levels, more fears, more unknowns, more growth. You never arrive, you evolve. And when you understand that, you stop obsessing over appearing ready and start focusing on getting real. Real skills, real learning, real self-awareness. Not the illusion of success, but the foundation of it. Let's get real. You can't grow if you're constantly managing perception. When you fake expertise, you stop learning. When you fake happiness, you never ask for help. When you fake alignment, you ignore your intuition. Faking doesn't just delay growth, it blocks it. Growth demands honesty. Growth demands humility. Growth demands reality. You can't change a version of yourself you're not willing to confront. Let's rewrite the script. From fake it till you make it, to face it till you make it. Face the fear, face the failure, face the feedback, face the unknown, because facing it fully is what transforms you. Faking is avoidance. Facing is empowerment, and that's what you're here for. Not to perform, not to pretend, but to become. Becoming is not a performance, it's a quiet revolution. It's showing up when it's hard, admitting when you're lost, building instead of bluffing, resting instead of overcompensating, letting your mess coexist with your magic. Becoming is messy, it's nonlinear, it's vulnerable, and it's the most real, raw, powerful thing you'll ever do. You don't have to fake strength, you can build it. Slowly, daily, genuinely. So what now? You stop faking it. You stop trying to look ready. You stop chasing the illusion of making it. And instead, you start empowering, owning your story, focused, practicing your craft, honest, sharing the truth, empowering, building your voice, gentle, healing your roots, happy, becoming more you. Because you, in progress, is more powerful than any version of you pretending to be perfect. You were never meant to fake it. You were meant to face it, to feel it, to walk through it, to grow through it. That's where your power lives.